Hello everyone, I'm Victor and I welcome you to the realm of stuff creation. And this time I came up with something very interesting that you may haven't seen before, but if you are into these medieval things or crossbow stuff, you probably had seen something likely to this. And the idea that I have was to make something like the pellet crossbow or the stone throwing crossbow of the medieval times. I watched it the first time the Todd's Workshop channel, a channel of which you probably haven't seen before or maybe heard of it. The concept is basically a crossbow of which shoots stones. And why does it make that instead of bolts? The thing is, stones are much more likely for you to find, and those pellets crossbow used to have a great accuracy. And with the accuracy, you could hit smaller targets. That's why it was a small game hunting crossbow. It was never meant to war, but um, let's just say it was a very interesting concept, and I decided to make one of my own crossbow, a crossbow that shoots stones, and I came up with something nice. It's my rock throwing crossbow, as you can see right here. I had some different thoughts once I was making this. Uh, the design that was used to be making before were more like a medieval thing, not very likely to look like a gun. And I tried to make something more likely to a firearm, or more likely to a modern crossbow, but at the same time could shoot stones. And I came up with this that looks like a shotgun or some sort of rifle or something, maybe a hunting rifle, which suits the concept because it's a small game uh, hunting weapon. And the thing is, I tried to make something more likely to a gun, but at the same time, who could work to shoot rocks or rock throwing crossbow anyway. And that's what I came up with. That's not a refined wood. I just pick uh, wood in the wilderness and use electric saw to make this shape. As you can see, the wood dry a little bit, and then make those marks right here. But at the same time, I got up with a very nice design, and I'm kind of satisfied with it. It does look like a shotgun. I painted with some black painted and with some oil, and it looks nice. So let me show you a little bit of its features. If you see the medieval pellet crossbow, the concept of the string is basically the same. As you can see, it's a double string separated by two PVC pipes. Of course, they didn't use PVC pipes at medieval times, but I use it basically homemade materials. I tie it up. There, there's a cut and upwards and um, downwards to fit the string, and I tie it up so it got separated. Right here in the middle, there's a piece of rubber that I use to that is used to place the stone on it. It's tied up except by this part that I have to fix it. And there's another string connecting both of the double strings, both sides of the double string. And there's a third string connected to the string that connected the double string. So it's basically a lot of strings. And once you pull it back, the pocket closes. That's basically the concept of the rock frame crossbow. Once you pull it, as you can see, the pocket tends to close, and once it's closed, you can store the rock, and it won't fall down or anything like that. And of course, once you release it, the pockets open up and release the projectile. That's basically the concept. But there's a few things that you must be aware if you want to do a project like this on your own. First of all, the stock of the crossbow must be a little bit different. If you want to do the same concept of a double string, or anything like that. Of course, you could do something different, like sort of boat track or something like that, but then you would have to have much uh, big resources or those types of things, and of course more materials. This is more meant for those who have not a lot of resources and just want to shoot stones. But of course, you can make basically a magazine or something like that. But if you want to do the medieval thing, there's a few things that you must be aware. First of all, it's mandatory that the bow must be upwards. In most crossbow, usually the string touches the stock, but in this case you don't want that. If you see the medieval crossbow, the medieval stone crossbow, they have a little curve which stops the string to go there. And why do you have to make that? Because once you pull it, it must be upwards, otherwise it's gonna hit the stock of the wood and you're gonna twist it down, so it won't shoot very well. It basically wouldn't work anyway. Another thing that I did was to cut a little bit of the front part, because I didn't make that at the first time, but when I shoot it was releasing, but it was hitting this part and going backwards, so it could hit me. So I had to make this. As you can see, there's this cut perfectly made to fit the bow. There's a nail right here which holds the bow, and of course the strings did in a medieval way. There's a cut right here of which I put the string and holds the bow very tightly. That's the medieval way to to attach a bow to a crossbow, and that's not how much of what I can say. Is basically wrap it up in the bow and put in the stock, and of course the string that is going upwards. That's basically the few things of the design that you must be aware. The trigger, of course, must be a little bit different. Basically, you have to make the string go more upwards than a normal crossbow. Like, you can't just attach it here like a lot of homemade crossbows used to do. So I had a few problems making the trigger. As you can see, there's a hole on it for a bigger trigger. There's this hole for that I could put the string right here and just pull it. There's those nails right here, a lot of nails, but uh, it kinda a lot of trying process that I made didn't work. The first thing I tried to do was to make a piece of wood that looks like an L, like this, but backwards, and I would put right here between those nails, and once I pull the trigger, the backwards parts of the trigger would go upwards and release the string. But that didn't work, because that's a very usual system for a slingshot rifle, but this crossbow had much more energy and much more power than a slingshot. So when I did that, the piece of wood just break. I could use a flat piece of metal, but I don't have any of it. So what I did was something much more ugly, but it ended up working. I may improve the trigger in the future. Another thing I try to do is basically make a cut right here and do the simple trigger that once you pull it back, it goes upwards and release the string. But that would make the string too low and would basically twist the main string backwards, and it wouldn't hold the rock, so of course it wouldn't work. It ended up looking something ugly, but I can definitely fix that in the future, or in future projects for rock throwing crossbow make something better. So um, how does the system work? So basically, there's a piece of metal right here that doesn't fall, and once you put the string right here, you pull it, and now the lever is released. So you basically go backwards and release the string, and now you can put back to its place right there, so it doesn't fall or anything like that. That's basically all the features. Now let's have a look at the design of it. As you can see, it does look like a rifle or some sort of shotgun. So I had the idea to make a more modern design. There's my signature. I use a chisel to make some drawings on it. That's my name. That's the signature of my girlfriend, and here it's an owl. Basically, they just did an owl because, you know, bird, animal, it does suit the concept of a crossbow. But anyway, you can make any type of drawings right here. So the thing that didn't look very well was this pink string, but what's the only thing that I have. I can paint it afterwards to maybe a black color, but looks like that basically. A rifle or some sort of shotgun, but it's a crossbow who shoots stones, and it's actually very comfortable to hold. There's this bigger part right here that your hand can rest pretty easily, and basically put the trigger right here. Now the main part, of course, let's shoot with it. So now let's shoot with the crossbow. As you can see, I already show its features. Here I have a bunch of rocks of different sizes. The thing is, this crossbow isn't accurate enough because I don't have any pellets or perfectly rounded rocks to throw it. At the moment I have just normal rocks that you find in nature, but probably would have much more accuracy if you have a sort of small type of ball, steel balls or even clay balls to use it as a projectile. But at this moment I only have those rocks, which it worked fine, but it's not accurate at all, and I don't have any aiming system. So for today, at least for today, I'm not going to shoot anything. I'm not going to aim at anything. It's not a practical shooting. I'm just going to show how it shoots and how much distance I can get, and maybe in a few videos I can improve its accuracy and performance. So here you can cock it by putting on the ground or in your hips, but I prefer on the ground. You must use both hands, put on the nails, and as you can see right here, the pocket closes, and now there is a space to place the rock. So let's place it. Let me choose. Another thing that you must be aware is that I don't think it's recommendable to use two weightless rocks. You must probably find a real a right weight for the rocks, because if it's too light you basically dry fire, which could damage the bow. So I like to use medium sized rocks, like not too small like this, but something like this I think is more suitable. So now you basically put between the strings where the rubber band makes it tied up, you pull it back the trigger, and now the lever is basically ready. Now you can shoot. It works. Let's shoot it again. It's, as I said earlier, it's going totally to the left. Maybe I have to fix its accuracy. Maybe there's something to do with the rubber. Maybe the bow is not very well positioned. I have to fix the trigger. but it served its main purpose for now. Oh. Let's put another rock. This one seems to be working. Seems to be suits fine. Place it between the strings. And once I shut, it will release the pockets and open up, releasing the projectile. Pull the lever. No. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoy it. If you want to see more medieval things, more craftsman stuff, or anything that I decided to create it, go check out my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends if they like those sort of stuff. This is the crossbow. Maybe you want to have a better looking at it. So I hope you enjoy it. See you soon.